Hey there folks, welcome to Good Works Tractors. Today we are going to talk about diesel anti-gel. This should be pretty quick, but we'll tell you what it is, or at least what I know about it, and if you should use it. So stick around. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button, like my Facebook page, check out my other videos, and here we go. So I've always just used anti-gel products, I guess with kind of blind following, not really knowing why. I know that it could freeze up, so to speak, right? And so what that freezing up actually is going to be there's wax in diesel fuel, and so the wax is what allows it to burn at a certain efficiency, and what these diesel refineries and suppliers do is in the summertime there's a higher level of wax that's in the diesel fuel, and so come October or November they're going to transition to a version of that fuel that I think is just less efficient. I don't know how it couldn't be. So you're probably not going to get as good a mileage, but it's going to have less wax in there, which is going to lower the gelling point of the diesel fuel itself. So those stations are essentially going to carry winter diesel fuel from somewhere in October or November all the way through until spring and maybe March or April. And so I don't really know. I tried Googling it. I tried doing some research on this, and I got a lot of different pieces of information. A lot of it was contradictory as far as if it's a state law or a federal law or, a mixture of both or no law at all. And, folks that have asked gas stations if they know if they have winter diesel fuel yet or not, and just a lot of non-standardization, which is kind of annoying, So with that being said, that's potentially why it's more convenient, more conducive to have some anti-gel on hand. And so, this time of year right now, when this video is coming out, is going to be early December. And this is when a lot of those stations, maybe stations that don't sell a lot of diesel fuel, are slower to transition to the winter fuel. Maybe as they diminish their reserves, then they're going to refill with the winter diesel. Or maybe you have your own supply, your own stock at home, whether it's in a transfer tank or just one of the cans, and you have some summer diesel there that you want to burn through. That's no big deal, but be aware and be cognizant that it may have gelling problems unless you can add something like this to it. Well, so first off, I can't remember what I paid, 15, 20 bucks, somewhere around there. It could have been a little bit more, a little bit less. There were a lot of different size options there, but this bottle here is going to treat 150 gallons, okay? And so as far as preventative measures go, that's a pretty cheap little insurance policy there to try to eliminate a potential big headache that you could have on hand. And so 150 gallons or up to that's going to get most of us subcompact and compact tractor owners through the whole winter, So for 15, 20 bucks, keep it on hand, you're good to go. Now, in the case of an emergency, so if you already have a gelled fuel system or a gelled fuel filter, this is not going to help you out in that case there. In those kinds of cases, you need to get like a 911 product, okay? An emergency diesel anti-gel product, and those are out there as well. That's going to be for a gelled situation that has already occurred. So this is to prevent that from happening in the first place. And now what this says is that it's good up to or down to minus 10 degrees. However, it does say somewhere on here, a second bottle is recommended for temperatures below minus 10. Good to minus 40, okay? And so if you are in some extremely frigid temperatures, or if you see that in the forecaster that's coming up, a second bottle might be required. So the other thing I noticed on here is that it includes real water dispersants, okay? And so, okay, what does that mean, And so I looked it up like I would look up anything else. And essentially water dispersants is what they are. They're going to take the moisture out of your fuel system, okay? And so nobody's really dumping buckets of water in their fuel system, but you get condensation that occurs, okay? And the condensation droplets, the moisture that's in there, can be damaging, harmful, and yada yada to your fuel system, okay? And so, as is widely known, water is going to freeze at 32 degrees, okay? And so that's going to create problems of its own inside your fuel system. So not only does this have the anti-gel properties in here, but it's also going to have moisture elimination properties in here as well, so you can kind of get a 2-for-1 in this combo right here. I say all of that. I'm in Michigan. We get some brutal cold up here, and I keep all my tractors, or almost all my tractors, as many as I can, stored inside. And so this is an unheated building that we're in right now. It gets down to the low or the high 30s, low 40s, even on the most frigid days. So it's not terrible. I don't, ever have diesel gelling problems in here. I have had tractors that have come up from more southern climates in the wintertime, and sometimes I forget to ask those folks to put some anti-gel and run it through the system before they get up here. And I've had tractors that have been just stuck, dead on arrival, not because they were broken, or anything wrong with them, just because their fuel filters were gelled, okay? And so that's a pain in the butt to deal with. And it just costs you time. It can cost you money if you're in a commercial application. And it's just an inconvenience, especially if you want to get out and plow your drive or anything else. And so this little bit of an insurance policy here, again, probably 10, 15, 20 bucks, depending on the size and the brand that you get, is going to prevent or eliminate that headache from happening. Well, so if I store all my tractors inside, then why do I have this? Well, I do actually have a tractor outside right now, and it's going to be outside for a little while, and we've got some cold weather definitely coming. I don't think spring is going to be coming here anytime soon, and so I want to make sure I get some of this not only in the system, but ran through the system, so it's all the way through the fuel system and through the lines and the filter and everything else. That way it can be properly, kind of ran through the whole entire system and be protected that way. Well, I don't pretend like I know it all, because I don't. I just know that anti-gel is going to do more benefit than harm. And being at a low price point like it is, I think it's a pretty good preventative measure to take and protect your equipment, give you some peace of mind, especially given the time of year. Again, if we were talking February, March, and you had burned through all your diesel fuel, stations are going to be well into their diesel fuel as well. This may not be as big of an issue unless you're into some super frigid temperatures that your tractor is going to be sitting outside and exposed in. But given the time of year that it is, I just think it's a more important consideration. Well, thank you so much for watching. Maybe you learned something new today. If you wouldn't mind, take a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, check out my other videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.